little trip over yonder, so I can take a look around at what you've seen. I can see from where I am you're on an adventure, in a place you can't describe. Some things can't be captured in words. So show me colors, colors I need.
Alright, what's up mga kamat learner? Isang magandang araw sa inyong lahat. Ako pa rin ang inyong abot kamay na mga teacher, si Sir Ash. And today, we are going to have another live discussion for our grade 9 students. And this is the last module for the quarter 2 of the grade 9 mathematics. And this is entitled Solving Problems Involving Radical Equations. If you remember last week, we have discussed radicals or radical expressions, radical equations, and hindi natin na-discuss pala yung radical equations. We talk about the rational exponents and how to solve, how to simplify, and what are the operations needed in solving radical expressions. Alright, so ano nga ba itong tungkol sa Mathematics 9 Quarter 2 Module 6? So, before we start our proper discussion, my dear math learners, if you are still new to this channel, please click that subscribe button at notification bell para laging updated ka sa ating mga susunod na discussion. And if you think that this channel can help other people, please paki-like na lang din and share this to your fellow friends, classmates, and schoolmates. So now let us start. Okay, so for the first page of this module, you will be given with you will see the cover page with the title on it, and then we have the second page, which is the information on who are the people behind on this module. Disclaimer lang po, hindi po sa akin ang module na ito. Ito ay galing po sa Department of Education. Alright, at nandito lang po tayo para i-discuss ito, para matulungan ang ating mga mahal na students. Okay, so now let us go to the third page, and that is an introductory message for the teachers or for the facilitator, as well as para sa inyo mga math learners. And then we go with the fourth page, and that is where you will know the objectives of this module. So for the first objective, we need to solve problems involving radical equations. So dito malalaman nyo kung ano ba ang radical equations. Pangalawa is to follow the steps and perform the procedure in solving equations and problems involving radical. So my dear math learners, ang topic na ito ay napakadali lamang at meron na tayong discussion nga nito sa ating channel sa grade 9 playlist. Okay. And the third one is to show appreciation of solving real life problems involving radical expressions. Okay, let us start. So, after mong malaman ang objective is the pretest or the let us try activity. In this part, you are owed to answer this series of questions. Ito ay 15 questions. ABCD lang po mga kamat learners, at no pressure at all because this is just a way to test whether you have a prior knowledge about this topic. Okay, now let us go to the introduction, and that is the let us study part. Part 1, ano nga ba ang radical equations? Of course, if we could consider our discussion last week, radical expressions are expression in which it uses the radical symbol, in which the variable x is in the radical sign, right? So ngayon, pag pinag-uusapan na natin ang radical equation, alright, so when we say equation, it is the use of the equal sign. So gumagamit ito ng equal sign symbol. Of course, since this is radical, so meron pa ring mga radical sign dito. So isang equation na meron ka makikitang radical sign na kung saan yung variable mo ay nasa loob ng radical sign or as part of the radicand. Ganon ang ibig sabihin ng radical equation. So in this module, it says that it is an equation that has variables or variable in one or more radicands. Okay, so napakadali lamang po nito, my dear math learners. Okay, meron itong sinusunod na property of equality. What property is this? This is the squaring property. When we say squaring, para ma-eliminate mo ang radical sign, you need to square both sides of the equation, yung left at saka right. Ang technique dito, mga kaibigan or mga ka-math learner is that bago mo gamitin ang squaring property of equality, make sure na sa isang left side, yung radical expression na lang ang natitira. Okay, so later on, I will tell you how to do it. Okay. Alright, let us start, my dear math learner. Example number 1, we have the square root of x is equal to 7. So, since this is an equation, we are owed to answer or to solve the value of x. Ano ba ang dapat value ni x para maging tama ang sagot? Okay, so in this case, my dear math learners, napakadali lang. Ang gagawin mo lang dito is, okay, palakihin muna natin. Ayan. Okay, ang gagawin mo lang dito is that make sure na sa isang left side, yun yung radical expression. Okay, so dito, as we can see, stay put na si radical expression. Nandoon na siya sa left side. Wala na siyang ibang kasama. Instead, the radical expression lang. Now, in order to do this or to eliminate that radical expression, ang gagawin mo lang is to square both sides. So, magsusquare ka dyan at magsusquare ka din sa right side. So, pag si square root of x, nag-square ka sa kanya, maka-cancelled out ang square at saka yung radical side, leaving you x. Of course, since the right side, nag-square din tayo, so 7 squared, the answer is 49. So, that is basically the answer. Easy, right? Easy lang talaga, my dear math learner. So, of course, kung gusto mong i-check whether your answer is correct, so what you will do is you just substitute the value that you have solved, yung 49 doon sa x mo, ipapalit mo lang. So, the square root of x will become the square root of 49. And what is the square root of 49? That is positive 7 as its principal root. Easy, right? Easy lang talaga, my dear math learner. So, now let us go to example number 2. Solve the equation. Square root of x plus 3 is equal to 4. So, ngayon, ito, binomial na ang nagiging radicand natin. So, how do we do this? Ganun pa rin, my dear math learners. Tingnan mo kung ang left side ba or yung radical expression ba ay solo na niya yung left side. Okay, so since ito, solo na niya, wala nang iba dito na merong hindi part of the radical expression, therefore, you can apply now the squaring property. So, you squared both sides, okay? And then, when you square that one, of course, si 4 sa right side, masusquare din. Now, this will be cancelled, itong square root, at saka itong square dito, leaving you x plus 3. Of course, si 4, dahil nakasquared siya, magiging 16 yun. Okay. And then, ito, hindi pa ito yung final answer. Tama? Ang gagawin natin dito is to solve for the value of x. So, anong gagawin natin dito? So, ito si plus 3 dito, ililipat natin sa right side of the equation, giving us x is equal to 16 minus 3, which is equal to positive 13. Easy, right? Yes, easy lang talaga, my dear math learners. And if you want to check whether your answer is correct, of course, yung 13, papalitan mo lang sa given equation mo. So, that will become 13 plus 3, the square root of 13 plus 3. So, that will become 16. So, square root of 16, ano ang square root ng 16? That is positive 4. Alright, napakadali lang, my dear math learners. Okay, ngayon naman, example number 3. What if yung left at saka yung right side naman ay merong radical expression? Okay, ganito naman ang gagawin mo, my dear math learners. As long as you see na in each side of the equation is a radical expression, then you don't need na ilipat ito sa left side, okay? So, as long as na-sure mo na ito siya, solong radical expression, ito naman solong radical expression, you can just apply your squaring property. So, squared mo both sides. So, when you squared both sides, makakancel ang squared nila, bringing you 3x plus 3. Ito naman sa right side, pag square mo si x plus 9, square root of x plus 9, makakancel din yung square root symbol niya at saka yung squared. So, bring down mo na lang si x plus 9. In this case, what you will do is you just combine like terms. So, itong si x dito, ililipat sa kabila. Okay, at ito namang si plus 3 dito, ililipat dito sa kabila. So, as you can see, my dear math learner, medyo may namali na naman dito sa ating module. Kasi, nang nilipat si x sa kabila, naging minus 2x. Dapat minus x lang yan. Okay, make sure you hear this, my dear math learners. Minus x lang yan. So, 3x minus x, that is 2x. Ayan, tama na ito dito. Okay? So, 9 minus 3 sa right side, that is positive 6. Since hindi pa x ang natira, so tatanggalin natin ngayon ang 2 na katabi ni x. Paano tanggalin? We just divide it both sides. So divide both sides by 2 and you will have x is equal to 3.
Easy, right?
Easy lang talaga, my dear math learners. At kung gusto mo namang i-check whether your answer is correct, of course, isa-substitute mo lang yan sa original equation mo, yung 3. So that will become 3 times 3 plus 3. O yan. Sa kabila naman, magiging 3 plus 9. So as you can see, my dear math learners, 3 times 3, that is 9 plus 3, that is 12. So square root of 12. Ito naman, 3 plus 9 sa right side, 12 pa rin yun. So square root of 12. So, and you don't need to solve this one because as long as you check that the left side and the right side are balanced, then your answer in x is equal to 3 is correct.
Easy, right?
Yes, easy lang talaga, my dear math learners. Now, how about this one? Ito na yung sinasabi ko kanina. Sir Ash, paano isosolve ito? Yan. So, as you can see, my dear math learners, in example number 4, we have square root of x plus 1 plus 5 is equal to 3. Yung plus 5 natin ay hindi part ng radical equation, right? Or expression. Radical expression. So, therefore, ito dito, ang gagawin natin dito is ililipat siya sa right side. So, ano ba tong nangyayari ngayon? Alright. So, we will rearrange this one. Ano ba ginawa dito? Bakit nag-plus? Okay. So, rearrange the first term to isolate the radical side. Bakit iba na ang given? Ayan, naging x plus 2 plus 6 is equal to 4 na. Ba't nag-iba? Okay, sige. So, ano ba to? Module na ito. My God. Okay. So, my dear math learners, let's disregard this example. Ito. Okay, ito na example. I-disregard natin itong first. Dito tayo mag-focus. Okay? Ayan. Dito tayo mag-focus. Let's consider this example. Hindi itong nakasulat dito sa solve the equation. Okay. So, if this is the case, kasi pareho lang din naman sila, di ba? Okay. Now, if this is the case, square root of x plus 2 plus 6 is equal to 4. What we will do is, itong plus 6 hindi part ng radical expression. So, what we will do is, we transpose this to the right side, giving us 4 minus 6. So, dahil nalipat na ito, bring down na lang itong si square root of x plus 2. Ito namang si 4 minus 6, ang sagot dyan is negative 12, of course. Now, as you can see, my dear math learners, yung left side natin na naging solo na si radical expression. So, ang gagawin natin dito is to apply now the squaring property. So, when we apply the squaring property, we square this one and we square this one. This will be the continuation. Alright? So, makakancelled out na yun siya. So, bring down x plus 2 na lang tayo. Of course, pag si negative 2, minultiply natin sa sarili niya or kinuha natin yung squared value niya, so that is positive 4. Now, x plus 2 is equal to positive 4. We will solve for the value of x. Ililipat lang natin itong plus 2 sa right side, giving us 4 minus 2, which is equal to positive 2. Alright.
Easy, right?
Napakadali lang talaga, my dear math learners. Pero, now, let us check whether we are correct. Okay. So, since this is positive 2, so what we will do is, we change this one, square root of 2 plus 2, ayan, plus 6 is equal to 4. So, square root of 2, that is 2, okay? That is 4. The square root of 4 is 2, okay? So, 2 plus 6 is 8, and it is not equal to 4. Now, since, as we can see, my dear math learners, because 8 is not equal to 4, it is a false result. 2 is not a solution. So, the original equation has no solution. Truly, the equation, as seen above, has no solution. So, basically, my dear math learners, according to them, or according to this example, we don't have any value for our x. Though, na-solve na natin siya, so technically, hindi pa rin tama. Okay? So, that's it. Now, let us check whether they are correct. So, 4 minus 6, negative 12 times 2, 3, 4, tama naman. Lipat sa kabila. Yeah. Sadyang pag-checking natin ay hindi siya true statement. Okay, so ano ang naging, natin dito? Ano ang na-realize natin dito? Every time we solve, my dear math learners, we need to check our answers. Yung na-solve natin na value ni x, we will check it to our radical equation. And if the given radical equation is balanced or it is a true statement, then that is the only time that we can be certain na tama yung pagkakasolve natin. Pero if ever hindi, then it doesn't mean na mali yung pagkakasolve. It's just na that solution is not a solution of the given radical equation. Okay, so example number 4, ang tawag dito ay tinatawag na extraneous solution. Okay, ayan. Example number 4 illustrates squaring both sides of an equation can lead to solutions called extraneous solution. These solutions do not satisfy the original equation. This is because the squaring property may not produce equivalent equations. When both sides of an equation are squared, the new equation may have solutions that the first one does not have. Okay, so ganon, my dear math learners. Now, I hope that is clear to you that in solving radical equations, we need to check our answers. When we check, we just substitute it to our original equation and make sure that in the final answer, we have a true statement. Okay! Napakadali lang at binigyan talaga tayo ng reminders ng module na ito. Okay, let us go to example number 5. Okay, paano naman ito? What if yung isa is a radical expression, yung isa naman binomial? Okay, so paano to? Of course, katulad lang kanina, since na-sure na natin na isang side ng equation ay the radical expression, we can apply now the squaring property. So when we square this one, so, ayan na yun. Ito na yun. Alright? Okay? So, when we square them, makakancelled out ngayon si x plus, yung square root sa x plus 7. Bring down mo na lang si x plus 7. However, itong x minus 5, when squared, you will have or you will obtain a, what we call, quadratic equation. Kasi when a binomial is multiplied by itself, most likely or commonly, the final answer is a quadratic equation or sorry, it is a trinomial. Okay, masusquared yun or times 2 yung degree niya. Okay, so since this is x minus 5, that will become x minus 5 times x minus 5. Applying the FOIL method, that will give you an answer that is a trinomial and that is a quadratic equation. So it will be x squared minus 10x plus 25. Okay, ito na yun ang magiging sagot. Okay? Now, my dear math learners, kung hindi ka marunong mag-multiply ng binomial to binomial, please do check our discussion in the quadratic equation as well as in multiplying monomials or multiplying polynomials. Okay? Nandun yan siya sa grade 8 playlist natin as well as in our grade 9 playlist. Okay. So, ngayon, since meron na tayo ditong trinomial at meron tayo ditong binomial, since may x ito, may x din ito, so ang gagawin natin ngayon is gagawin natin siyang standard form. When we say standard form, if you remember our lesson in the first quarter, which is all about the quadratic equation, the standard form gives you the ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. This is the form. So what you will do is you transpose everything in the left side. So itong si x ngayon, ililipat sa left side. Itong si plus 7 ngayon, ililipat sa left side. So magiging minus x na siya at magiging minus 7. Okay. So si x squared, bring down. Si negative 10x, ito, pag nilipat sa kabila, minus x na yon. So negative 10x minus x, that will give you negative 11x. Okay? Then 25, itong plus 7, pag nilipat sa kabila, magiging minus 7 yan. So 25 minus 7, that is positive 18. So right now, this is now your standard form of the equation. Now, you can apply a lot of ways in solving quadratic equations. You can apply the extracting square root if and only if bx is not available. Pangalawa is you can apply the factoring in which ito yung ginawa dito. Pangatlo, you can apply the completing the square at pang-apat is the safest method. That is the quadratic formula. However, the one of the fastest way to solve quadratic equation is through the use of factoring. So, when you factor x squared minus 11x plus 18, that will become x minus 9 at saka x minus 2. Now, let's check. Negative 9 times negative 2, that is positive 18. Okay, correct. Negative 9 plus negative 2, that is negative 11. That is correct. Therefore, we can say that this 1 is a correct factor of the given quadratic equation. Now, of course, isosolve na natin ngayon si x dito. So, we will solve them separately, equating them to 0. So, x minus 9 is equal to 0. X minus 2 is equal to 0. So, ang isang value natin ay magiging x is equal to 9. Bakit? Kasi nilipat natin si minus 9 sa kabila. Naging 0 plus 9, which is 9. Ito namang minus 2, nilipat sa kabila, naging plus 2. So, 0 plus 2, that is positive 2. So, therefore, dalawa ang value ng x mo. It could be positive 9 at positive 2. The question is this a correct solution? Okay, so ngayon, we will check our answers. Now, in checking, isosolve natin si 9, and then i-check din natin si 2. I-check natin si 9, i-check natin si 2. Okay, let's start with 9. Now, our original equation is this one, right? Na x minus 5 is equal to the square root of x plus 7. So, yun din ang gagamitin natin pang check. Okay. So, ililipat natin ngayon or isa-substitute natin ngayon si 9 sa x. So, magiging 9 minus 5, that is 4. Okay, 4. So, 4 is the left side of the equation. Ito naman dito sa radical expression natin, that is x plus 7. That is 9 plus 7 and that is 16. The square root of 16 is 4. Then, we can say that 9 is a solution. Okay, check tayo kay 9. How about kay 2? Okay, kung kay 2 naman tayo, 2 minus 5, that is negative 3. Okay, tama. Ito, left side. How about dito sa right side? 2. 2 plus 7, that is 9. The square root of 9 is 3. Now, I'm sure, my dear math learners, marami sa inyo ngayon ang magdi-discuss sa akin na, Sir Ash, the square root of 9 is positive and negative 3. That is correct if and only if we are trying to get two values of the variable. However, if it is just an expression square root of 9, then we will take the principal root. And the principal root for positive numbers is lalong-lalo na kapag yung index mo is an even number, it is always the positive value. So, hindi na siya plus minus 3, instead positive 3 only. Okay, so therefore, the square root of 9 is positive 3. Yung sa kabila, negative 3. So, negative 3 and positive 3 are two different answers. Therefore, we can say that positive 2 is not a solution. It's just positive 9. Okay, my dear math learners, I hope that is very clear to you. Alright, so ito nga ang sabi dito. Therefore, 9 is the solution, not 2. There are times when a quadratic equation results in using the squaring property in a certain radical equation as seen in example 5. Okay. By this time, you must be wondering as how to solve radical equations where the index is greater than 2. Okay. So, yun nga. Masobra pa. Hindi na square. Technically, cube root, fourth root, mga ganon. Okay. Mas malaki pa sa 2 ang index niya. Okay. So, if that is the case, what we will do is, of course, yun din ang magiging power mo. So, solving radical equations where the index is greater than 2 is also like solving radical equations whose index is 2. The difference is in the squaring property. The squaring property can actually be extended to numbers greater than 2. That is, generally, ayan. So, if we have cube root, ito, example number 6. Cube root of x minus 2 is equal to 2. So, since this is cube root, of course, ano ang kailangan ni cube root para ma-cancel out? Kailangan niya ng power of 3 or cube. So, therefore, we will cube the left side and the right side of the equation, applying the context of the squaring property. So, when we cube the left side, this will be cancelled, the cube root and the cube. So, bringing down x minus 2. Of course, in the right side, 2 cube tayo. So, 2 cube, 2 times 2 times 2. So, that is 8. So, now, x minus 2 is equal to 8. We solve for the value of x. That will become 8 plus 2. Okay? And that will give you positive 10.
Easy, right?
Alright, easy lang talaga. But, we still need to check whether our answer is correct. So, ngayon, i-change natin ito. So, that is 10 minus 2. So, the cube root of 10 minus 2, the answer is cube root of 8. Now, the question is, meron ba tayong cube root ni 8? Of course, meron, and that is positive 2. So, therefore, we are correct for solving the value of x as 10. Okay, how about fourth root, my dear math learners? Ganun lang din, kung fourth root of x plus 7 is equal to the fourth root of 2x, ang gagawin mo lang dito is, of course, since the left and the right side are already in its simplest radical expression. So what we need to do in order to eliminate the radical sign is to use the power of 4 in the left and the right side of the equation. So magpo-4th power tayo dito. So 4th power sa left, 4th power sa right, cancel this, bringing down our x plus 7. Of course, ganun din dito sa 4th root of 2x. So makakancel din ang 4th root at saka yung 4. So bring down ka na lang si 2x. And then in this matter, isosolve mo na lang ngayon ang value ng x. So ililipat mo si x papunta dito sa right side since nandun si 2x, giving you 2x minus x. So x na lang ang 2x minus x. Therefore, 7 ang sagot. Okay, so ngayon ang tanong, whether is 7 a solution to this given equation? So if we change this as 7, if we change this as 7, we have the 4th root of 7 plus 7, that is 14. So the 4th root of 14. How about here? 2 times 7. So 2 times 7 is 14. So the 4th root of 14. Since the left side and the right side of the equation are balanced, then we got the correct answer. Okay, napakadali lang talaga, my dear math learners. I hope nakuha nyo yon. Okay, so now let us continue. So here are the steps in solving equations involving radical expressions. Okay? So rearrange mo talaga such that i-isolate mo yung single radical sa isang side ng equation. Pangalawa is to square both sides of the radical equations. That is if square root. Kung cube root naman, cube both sides. Kung 4th root naman, 4th power of 4 naman yung left at saka right. Okay, combine like terms, then if a radical term still remains, repeat step 1 and step 2, then solve for the unknown value, and then always remember, check the solution in the original equation. This is required. Okay, this step is required to check. Yan. Okay, next. Now, let's talk about problem solving involving radical equation. Okay. Paano ba mag-solve ng problem solving? Of course, hindi mo masosolve ang isang problema kung hindi mo alam kung ano yung problem. Okay, familiarize, translate, solve, check, and state. Okay. So, example natin is here. The square root of the sum of a certain number and 10 is 15. So, as you can see, my dear math learner, the square root, that is the square root of the sum. So, sum is plus. So, certain number, hindi natin alam. So, that is x. So, and the other number is 10. Okay? So, that is x plus 10 kasi sum. So, the square root of x plus 10. And then, itong is, it means equals 15. Okay, find the number. Okay, so as you can see, ito na magiging ano natin. So, that is how you familiarize, you translate, and then, now, you solve. Okay, so this is just an example kanina. So, you square both sides. So, bring down na lang si x plus 10, and then 15 squared is 225. Ngayon, para ma-solve si x, ilipat natin si plus 10 sa right side of the equation, giving us 225 minus 10. That will give us 215. Now, the question is this correct? So, 215 yung sagot natin, i-check na natin ngayon. So, ililipat natin siya, or i-substitute natin siya sa x. So, square root of 215 plus 10, that is 225. The square root of 225, meron bang perfect square yon? Okay, meron. And that is 15. Okay, so 15 is equal to 15. Therefore, the answer is 215. Okay, my dear math learners, napakadali lang. Now, how about this one? 3 times the square root of 2 greater than a number. Okay? 3 times the square root of 2. So, 3 times the square root of 2 greater than a number. So, 2 plus or greater. So, x plus 2. Ganon. Okay, x plus 2 is, that is equals, is equal to the square root of 4. Square root of 4 more than 11 times the number. So, 11x. Okay, or 11m plus 4. Okay, ganon lang kadali, my dear math learners. So, ito, translate mo muna. Ito. Yan. Yan, i-translate mo muna yan sa left side. So, that is 3 times the square root of m plus 2. Okay. And then, equals, kasi may is, then you translate this one. Ayan. So, square root of 4 more than 11 times the number. So 11x plus 4. Okay, kasi more than. However, dito sa example or in the module, m ang ginamit niya as the number. Okay. Ewan ko lang, sinabi dito, let x be the number. Pero pagdating dito, naging m. Ewan ko na lang talaga sa gumagawa nito. Anyway. Okay. Let's just continue. Let's consider na m yung naging variable niya. Okay. So, i-equal na natin ngayon sila at ito na yung magiging ano mo. Now, as you can see, my dear math learner, we cannot transpose them or we cannot divide this 3 to each side of the equation para makancel. Bakit? Kasi walang mangyayari, ganun pa rin. So, what we need to do is just to square the both sides of the equation. So, ngayon, when we square this one, okay. So, when you square 3, square root of m plus 2, ito yon. C squared, mapupunta kay 3. So, 3 squared yun, magiging 9. The square root of m plus 2 is squared din. So, makakancel ang squared din. So, bring down m plus 2. So, 9 times m plus 2. Okay, I hope that is very clear, my dear math learners. Ito naman dito sa right side, of course, ganun lang din, simple lang. So, squared mo ito, makakancel out ang square root, bring down mo na lang si 11m plus 4 or 4 plus 11m. They are just the same. Okay, now, what we will do now is to combine like terms. Ay, hindi pa pala, is didistribute mo muna si 9 kasi may parenthesis pa dito. So, 9 times m, 9m, 9 times 2, 18. Okay, so ito, wala ng parenthesis, na combine like terms ka na. So, si 11m, mas malaki dito. So, ililipat natin, of course, pwede mong ilipat si 9 doon, pwede mo din ilipat si 11 doon. In this case, ang ginawa nila, 11m. Either way, the answer is still the same. Okay, let's try this one. 11m, nilipat sa left side. So, naging 9 minus 11m. So, si plus 18, nilipat sa right side, naging minus 18 na ngayon. So, bring down mo lang si 4, bring down mo lang din si 9m. So, 9m minus 11m, that is negative 2m. 4 minus 18, that is negative 14. You divide both sides by negative 2 para m na lang matira, and you will have positive 7 because negative 14 divided by negative 2 is positive 7. Okay, now, your answer is 7. The question is 7 a correct solution to this given? Okay, now, if we check, this will become 7 plus 2, right? Okay. So, that will become 9. So, the square root of 9 is 3. So, 3 times 3, that is 9. So, 9 ang lalabas dito na side. Okay. So, how about here? 11 times 7, that is 77. 77 plus 4. Tama, di ba? Okay. 77 plus 4, that is 81. And square root of 81, that is 9. So, dito 9, ito din 9. So, therefore, the number 7 na nasolve mo is correct.
Easy, right?
Yes, easy lang talaga, my dear math learners, as long as you apply what you learned earlier in our discussion. Okay. Example number 3, the square root of the product of 4 and a number is 26. Okay. So, product, multiplication. So, 4 and a number that is x. Okay. So, 4x. Square root of 4x equals 26. The same concept lang. Square both sides. Cancelled ang square root. Bring down 4x. 26 times 26. That is 676. Divide both sides by 4. The answer is 169. If you substitute 169 for the checking, that will become 4 times 169. That is 676, and the square root of 676 is 26, giving you a balanced equation. All right. Now, how about this one? Rectangle. A rectangle has a perimeter of 24 inches with a length of 4 inches and a width of square root of x plus 2. Find the value of x. Okay. So, of course, pwede kang gumamit ng illustration, my dear math learners. So, gawa ka ng rectangle, sorry. And then the perimeter is the total sides, right? So, that is P, 24 inches. So, ito daw, si width plus si length, ang sagot 24. Okay. So, since in a rectangle, dalawa ang length dyan, dalawa din ang width dyan, so paano na ito ngayon? So, of course, gagawin mo lang is to apply the formula for the perimeter. So, that is 2L plus 2W. Ayan. Or 2W plus 2L, they are just the same. Okay. So, substitute our P, that is the perimeter, 24. Our 2W, so 2 times the W, this is our W or the width. So, that is square root of x plus 2. And plus kaagad, 2L, so 2 times the length. So, our length is 4, so 2 times 4. Now, you just simplify this one. So, 2 times 4, that is 8. This is 24. So, combine like terms, lipat sa kabila. Okay? So, plus 8 dito. Pagdating dito, minus 8 na tayo. So, 24 minus 8, that is 16. Alright. Then, 2 times square root of x plus 2. Of course, itatabay mo lang yan sila kasi hindi yan sila ma-multiply. Then, since this is the 1, you divide both sides by 2. Okay? So, para matanggal itong 2 dito, para ma-isolate yung radical expression natin. So, divide by 2, divide by 2. So, x plus 2 na lang tayo. And then, si 16 magiging 8. Of course, meron pa yung square root dyan. So, 8 is equal to square root of x plus 2. Magsusquare tayo ngayon both sides. Kaya siya may square agad. Automatic na ito dito. Okay? So, ngayon, nang nag-square tayo both sides, na-cancel ang square root, bring down na lang si x plus 2. Then, 8 squared is 64 kasi 8 times 8 yun. And then, we solve for the value of x. Nilipat natin si plus 2 sa left side, giving us 64 minus 2, and that is 62. The question is whether we are correct. So, si x daw natin ay 62. So, if that is the case, if we check that this will be our formula, so 24CP, si 2, yun pa rin si 2, yan pa rin si L, si 4, okay, si W, magiging square root of 62 plus 2 because x plus 2 yun. So, 62 yung na-solve natin. So, the square root of 62 is 64, 64, the square root of 62 plus 2, that will become the square root of 64. Ayan. Then, the square root of 64, that is 8. So, 8 times 2 na tayo. So, that is 16. 16 plus 8, 24. And you have a balanced equation.
Easy, right?
Easy lang talaga, my dear math learners. Alright. So, now, let us continue. Ayan. This is the time na kayo naman ang sumagot, my dear math learners. So, we have here card number 1, card 2, hanggang card 5. You are given 5 cards with the solution. Each problem in the card has 1 error. So, you will find the error and describe the incorrect step. Okay. Sa card na yan. Okay. And solve and check the answer for extraneous solution. Okay. So, if we... Okay, so card number, problem, what is the error, answer. Okay. So, card number 1, example lang tayo. Square root of 16x, then 16. Okay, so this is correct. Okay? Now, the question is whether, if we check this one, tama ba? So, this will become 16. Square root of 16. Ay, mali. Mali tayo dito. Bakit mali dito, my dear math learners? 8 squared is not 16. Okay. Ayan. So, you can correct this one. Next, card number 2. We have square root of x minus 1 is equal to 4. Square both sides. So, bring down na lang si x minus 1. So, 4 squared. O yan. Okay. 16. Then, lipat sa kabila. So, x is equal to 17. Saan ang mali dito? I think this one. Bakit? Hindi siya nag-squared sa left side. Right? Dapat nag-squared siya. Naglagay. Yan. Alright. Card number 3. Yan. Katulad nito. So, nag-squared tayo dito. Bring down 9. Yan. So, ano ang mali dito? Pag nag-transpose tayo, that will become 9 minus 2. Anong sagot ng 9 minus 2? Alright! Okay, hindi ko sasabihin sa inyo. You can put it in our comment section below. Okay. Now, card number 4. Square both sides. Bring down 3x plus 2. Bring down x plus 10. Lipat natin. Yan. Ayan. Mali na ito. Okay. So, there is something wrong here. Next. Card number 5. Okay, tingnan natin. X minus 2 squared niya. So, naging x squared minus 10x plus 25. Okay. Ay, ito yung kanina. Ayan. May isa dyan, extraneous solution. Yeah, ito yung example kanina. Anyway, you already know how to solve that one. So, I'm sure you can get that one, my dear math learners. Next, we have activity 2, solve, then decide. The square root of 4 times a number is equal to the square root of 29 more than a number. So, paano yan siya ilagay? That is the square root of 4x. Okay? Equals the square root of x plus 21. Okay, so squared mo lang both sides, solve for the value of x, then check. Okay, hindi ko sasabihin kung paano siya isolve kasi na-discuss na natin yan kanina. I can give you hint on how to translate. Alright, find the number such that twice its square root is 10. Oh, find the number such that twice its square root is 10. Okay, so the square root of a number, so 2 times the square root of a number is 10. Ganun. We have here 5 times the square root of 1, 5 times, okay, so quantity yan, square root of 1 less than a number, so x minus 1 tayo, okay, then equals 3 more than a number, so x plus 3, okay, then solve for the value of x. Number 4, the square root of the sum of a certain number and 10, so that is x plus 10, is equal to 13. So, huwag mong kalimutan yung square root sa first. Okay. Solve. Next, number 5. The square root of 7 more than a number. So, same lang dito sa first. Is equal to square root of 14. So, ito, walang square root. Ito, may square root of 14. Then, solve. Okay? Madali lang ito, my dear math learners. Next, we have here solve the following equations. Okay, dalawang equations. Ang dami. Solve the following radical equations siguro sabi. Okay, so ito, same example number 1, same example number 2. Ito, squared mo both sides, cancel out ang mga square root. Ito naman, lipat mo muna si 5 sa kabila, then bago mo siya squared. Ito, mag-squared ka, pero magiging quadratic equation ito. Therefore, ang gagawin mo is to use the quadratic equation. Anong mga technique doon? You can use the factoring. Ito naman, cube, left and right side. Okay, same here. We have activity 4. Same lang kanina. The square root of 8 more than a number. So, square root of x plus 8 equals the square root of 16. Then solve. The square root of 3 less than a certain number. So, the square root of x minus 3 equals 5. Solve. Alright. Solve the problem. Okay, Mishka Meg bikes 3 kilometers to the east going to school and 4 kilometers north going to the church. How will you illustrate the given problem for better understanding? So, gawa ka ng bahay, siguro yung origin ni Mika. So, 3 kilometers papunta dito. That's 3, okay? That's 3. And then, papunta naman dito, 4 kilometers, that's the church. So, mula sa kinatatayo niya, papunta dito, 3 kilometers, paakyat naman, 4 kilometers. Ganun lang kadali. How far is Mishka Meg from the starting point, which is her house? House pala yun, oh. Yun nga. Teka, saan ang house? School, church. How far is Mishka Meg from the starting point? How far? Depende kung saan ang sagot. Okay? Okay.
Easy, right?
Explain nyo na lang yan, my dear math learners. Alright. Nakakabaliw. Okay, so now let us go to the let us remember. Ito na yung mga reminders about sa radical equations, my dear math learners. So, please read this carefully and ano tawag dyan? Visualize it. Okay, internalize it. Okay, it is also here yung mga steps sa pag-solve ng radical equations as well as the problem solving. And then after that is the post-test. So, in this time, you will be asked to answer these multiple choice questions and make sure na malaki talaga ang sagot nyo dito, my dear math learners, because this is a post-test. So, this is recorded. Alright. So, Please, good luck. All right. And then you have your performance task. Let us enhance. For my students, no need to answer this because we have our own performance task. Okay, and then after that is the reflection. So what are the three things I learned, two things that interest me, and one application of what I learned. So just answer what you can hear since this is just a reflection. No wrong answers here because this is your opinion. Okay, and then after that is, of course, the answer key, whether your teacher have given you the answer key. I hope not, para at least naman matuto talaga kayo paano mag-solve ng radical equations. Now, my dear math learners, if you do have some questions about our discussion for today, please don't hesitate to put your inquiries in our comment section or chat box below. If you are still new to this channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. Do share this video or this channel to your fellow friends, classmates, and schoolmates para mas marami pang matulungan ang ating channel. Ito pa rin ang inyong abot kamay na math teacher, si Sir Ash, at lagi niyong tatandaan na masarap matuto ng mathematics kapag marami tayong nagsasama-sama. God bless, take care, and keep safe always. Alright!
I will take a little trip over yonder, so I